As soon as I saw this giant ladybug, I was like, we gotta make a wreath with that. And guess what? It's our latest wreath kit. We've got everything in it to make your wreath. The only thing you'll need to do is provide your own grapevine base, but we've got the kit for you and we're gonna make it all together. So come on, Bloomerinos, let's have some fun with flowers. Y'all, this one starts out with the cutest part of the whole kit is this giant ladybug, and we're going to get her put in our wreath base first to get the whole party started. So she's got these fun dimensional feet, and if you'll just take her and put her in your wreath base. Now the kit isn't coming with the base, so you can choose whatever kind you want, but I'm going to show you how to use it in a grapevine today. Because the little feet can actually kind of wedge in, I'm going to recommend you just start by wedging them in, and then we're going to come behind and actually tie a couple of the feet in. But if you just start by wiggling them under the grapevine, it's a great start to the process. Now, I think she's kind of fun, a little cattywampus. You can turn her, whatever you want, or you can just have her go straight up and down just like this. But we've got to mount her in first. So what you're going to do is you're going to go around her legs with some cable ties or wires, whatever you want to use, and attach at least 3 of the legs just for safety. But I'm just going to go around and do that first. That is so stinking cute. I just knew she was going to be perfect for a wreath because she just kind of goes with it perfectly around the shape, you know. So we do need to use a bigger base on this. If you had a pine wreath you wanted to use, you could use a 24-inch base. You need it to be round, but at least 18 to where her feet can come out here to the edges. So I think I'm going to go for 4 of the feet. I'm making sure I'm getting around them and the grapevine so they're going to hold on really good. I want to make sure she's very stable. About this one. I'm going to do the top one also. So I did 4. You know, keep playing with yours, see how many you need to make her stable. But basically, once you get it all done, before you even trim it off, do the shake test. She feels like she's on good. And we're ready to rock and roll. So I'm just going to trim off all of these little guys. These are the ends of the cable ties, okay? So one of the things we teach in design school is we teach all the mechanics to get the process started. Sometimes it's a lot of steps to get to this level, just to even get the pieces in. But we make it super easy so you know how to do it. She's in, she's good to go. Let's get started with the flowers. Now, we have flowers, we have berries, and we have greenery. So the first thing we're going to do, one of the skills I teach in design school also is setting your perimeter with greenery, how important it is to lay out all the zones and the dimension and all that good stuff. So one of the things we're doing right now as we head into the summer season in design school, we are talking about transitions and movement in our designs as we transition seasons. I thought that was so clever. And what I like to do is when I'm teaching in class, I like to take skills that you know and you learn over time and make them make sense moving from project to project. So pretty soon you start to think like a designer and you're able to do things on your own. So when you get new supplies, you can start to use them using the techniques we teach you in design school. Starting with the greenery, we're going to have 2 bushes of the fishtail and the green in your kit. Now, this is pretty long. We don't need to come out that long. This is a 360 design, so it's going to go all the way around this wreath. So you have to make sure you get really good coverage with your greenery. So I'm going to trim this bush all the way down and not have it super long, okay? I'm going to do that on both of them and push these up a little bit. But if you want the link to this kit, just let us know. We'll put it here in the comments. And then you can grab the exact link to this project. Don't forget, when you're on the website at Khalees.com, you can see exactly the supply list, the kit link, and you can get back to the links for these videos. If you go on Khalees.com and there's a project there that you cannot access, it's because it's for design school and they get first dibs and first access to new products, new designs, new classes, and they get discounts on supplies, so they get the extra special treatment. So if you come into one of those, you may not have access to anything until you're ready to join design school. But on tutorial that we do out for the general public. You can find the links to watch it wherever you'd like to, on Facebook, YouTube. If it's short enough, it can be on Instagram or TikTok, but the longer videos will be on Facebook or YouTube. And the links are right there, and the links to the supply list, so it makes it really, really easy for you. So what I want to do is start putting around my greenery. Now, I want you to pick a direction and just go in that direction. So I generally go clockwise, so that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to start putting these pieces in clockwise. You notice I'm not coming straight off, I'm working my way around. And I'm going to start to just put one where every, basically at 12, 3, 6, and 9 to start with, okay? That way we get just kind of even distribution to start with. And I just want to make sure that we're all coming out about the same length. Let's see, can you see it pretty good? Here's going to be my 12 o'clock, a little bit off to the side. Perfect. Yep. And let me go by 3 o'clock. Now, once those are in, you kind of separated your wreath into sections, which will help you get pretty even placement. And then you're just going to come in and you're going to put, I'm putting Spanish moss to cover my glue, but now I'm going to put one piece of greenery in between each of these now. So you see how easy that's going to start coming together. And the reason we want to do that is because we don't want to use up all of our greenery and have a big hole somewhere. So we have to get it spread out somewhat evenly. And you just keep going clockwise. She's going to be cute already because she is cute. And then we start adding this beautiful fishtail fern, which is exclusive to Cleese.com. I love it. It's one of my favorite greeneries for many years now. I have a wispy type of style, so this goes great with the designs I like to make. And this particular style, I'm having so much fun with because it's red and black, which is going to pop on your door in the summertime. It really is. All right, next step for greenery is, and we still have fishtail fern left. You're going to hold on. We're going to use some more of it in a minute, but we got to layer these puppies in. We got to have that depth and dimension. So these we're going to take and separate into sections. I'm just going to tear these down, and then we're going to end up with 3 different stems here. And I take and trim these down to just a couple of inches. We don't need them really, really long, just like that. Now, we're going to start to put these right on the piece of greenery, right before the piece of greenery you just put in. Now, these have a little bit of white berry. So it's important we start to put those in. So I'm going to put one right here, kind of in between these two. The 6 o'clock and the 7, right between them, okay? The next one, the same spot. So just go right behind the first 3 that you put in, all right? If that helps you with placement. And it'll give you more equal distribution. So the next one's going to go behind there. Beautiful. And you can spread these out. You can see how full they're going to be. All right, we have one more bush. And I'm going to tear this one down too the same way. Just pull those off. And then you can trim really easy. Trim, trim, trim. And I will take, and I'm going to put this one behind the 3 o'clock. Okay, and then we've got one at every hand of the clock, which gets it put in on their 4 different places, okay, of our first original pieces we put in. And that means we have 2 pieces left, and we're going to hold off on those 2. We'll use those to fill in just a little bit. All right, now it's time for our fun flowers, and we're going to use a poppy. A poppy's a great flower to use. It has meanings as far as patriotism, but it's also just bright red with a little touch of yellow in there, so it works great. And poppies, their heads move around with all this movement on their stems, so they're fun to do stuff with. And you can rotate these petals around to make them a little more open. You can pop them down. They just are wild and whimsical, so I love them. So we're going to take and cut these off as long as they'll go on their bush. Right here. Just trim them right off. All right. Trimming everybody super long because I want that kind of vibe. All right, the bush is all done and now we're ready to put these in. Now, go ahead and count them so we can figure out how many we have per side. That kind of helps you in your placement. So I've got 3 heads, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 heads. That's a weird number. 2, 4, 6. Oh, it does have 8 heads. Usually bushes have odd, so. All right, so we need to get like 4 per side. So let's start with our first one up here. Now with these, I'm gonna go a little bit tighter to the base so they don't, they kind of come in a little bit closer. So we're gonna work right here. I'm gonna start right here and just bring that head forward. Now we want these to have lots of dimension. I want it to be moving around like that. That's glorious to me. So get them moving. There's the first one. Here's number 2. And we're just kind of going for even placement. We're going to just have one, and we're going to move the next one in. We just want them to be kind of whimsical. I love that we were able to have this in a kit for you guys because then it's so easy for you to shop. You just click one button and you can grab exactly what you need to reproduce this exact design. And it just makes it so easy. There's number 3. All right, I'm going to come in with number 4. And it's okay if they overlap your ladybug a little. Once that glue sets up, we can manipulate them even more. We can make them wiggle more or go more outside. We just kind of need everything to start setting up first. All right, here come our next few. Get these guys in. And you just work your way around the whole design. It's just so whimsical with the big ladybug. Now, leave a little space over here because we are going to put a bow in our design. The ribbon does come with the kit. You do not have to do the bow if you don't want to, but I'm going to leave a little spot over there for a bow. So we'll be a little more dense on this side with a little bit more of an open hole and a little bit more dense with the poppies around here. Okay. Look at that. Oh my gosh. And there'll be a separate link to the bow video so you can find it. And we're going to put that in next. All right, here's my last poppy. So leaving that open, I'm going to put one more down here at the bottom because there's going to be a lot of drama going on at the bow over there in just a second. Okay, you see already we're popping all the fun red. Isn't that just so much fun? I love her. I love the way these look. Now, poppies are also fun to do this with. Is take and curl their stems. It's just too fun. So you might want to do that with a few so that they're not all quite as long. Some can go tighter. Some can be out longer. Just curl that around your finger. I have too much fun with these. Just make them whimsical, you know. I think it makes it have them character. All right, I talked about a bow. Guess what? Here is our bow. Ta-da! Yes, the link, you can find it. If it's not here linked in the video, just ask in the comments. We'll get you the link to make your own bow. But this one has check. It's got a check with a big pretty red. I love that one. And then we got a ladybug ribbon right in the middle to make it a little bit more whimsical. So this, I think, is a lot of fun to attach to her leg right here, all right? And when we do that, it'll kind of be at a little bit of an angle. So I think that is adorable. So I'm going to pull this bloom up, and we'll kind of move that to the side. But this is going to go right here. And because it's going to be attached to her leg, it should sit up a little bit more in the foreground, hopefully. Let me get it on there tight. Tight, tight, tight. All right. Oh, yes. See what I'm talking about? Okay, let's trim that off. And that's fun, just kind of having that angle pop out. I love it already. I love it already. This is one of the biggest kits we've done in a while with big elements. And I think it's just so fun. Now, because that's tied on her leg, the neat thing is I get all this drama up here with the ribbon coming across the base and flowing down. Let me show you. Let me show you. Look at all that. Ooh, so pretty, so pretty. So let's come in and we're ready to fill in our next layers. So let's get that greenery in before we put our berries. They're going to be our very last touch. So we've got two more of the pieces that have the white. So what I'm going to do, I have a white here and a white here. I'll just go in between it. All right. You can even take and break this down into two separate stems if you want, just to get a little more coverage. So one will have white berries, one won't. So I'm going to take the one with the white, and we're going to go in between right here. Now, if you can see any glue, when you put that in, you come back and cover that with Spanish moss. That doesn't come in your kit, but we have that as an extra add-on if you don't have any Spanish moss in your craft room. Now I'm going to bring the next piece up here. And we're going to take that one and just kind of spread it out. That looks great. I've got a white berry there, and then I have a white berry down here. So this is the perfect area to come with a little bit more. So we'll do the same thing. I'll separate it and do a couple of picks. You can get a little more bang for your buck now. And I'm just filling it in a little, just fluffing it out. We're getting a little tighter to the base. And we talk about that a lot in design school too, because we've got to work to fill in our areas to give it that depth and not have a hole, especially in this type of design where we work all the way around the perimeter. We want to make sure we've got good coverage. All right, look at that. Isn't that great? All right, now come back and grab your fishtail fern. We're going to make it a little shorter now. And I'll take these, just push them up a little shorter, and we'll trim them to where they got a little poof of a cluster here. And they're going to look like this. So you're going to do that with all your remaining stems. Just like this. Okay. And pull this one out too. Now take and hit those in the glue pot and just put them right in here. And I want these shorter to kind of come around the perimeter close to my ladybug so I can kind of soften her edge there and make her feel like she's part of the design and she's not just like, ah, here I am. I like to work in and soften those lines. I'll call that a lot in design school. I call that breaking the plane, so that everybody's kind of in their own layers in a design. It gives you that depth. And depth and dimension mean more beauty to your piece, a higher perceived value if you're a seller, and just a higher level of design instead of flat. And depth can be created quite a few different ways. We can create it with color, we can create it with texture, and then we can actually create it literally by how we layer it into design. So it's kind of amazing how you can utilize all of that when you're creating a wreath. It's the multimedia textures that we use that really, really make this work. Now this piece, I'm going to put right out of the middle of the bow. So I have it kind of coming. You see how I'm going to bring it up into the bow? Super important detail because it breaks the plane of that. Now this looks beautiful. We could be totally finished right here, but we're going to grab our berries. That's the last piece that comes in the kit. Remember, the kit has everything except for the base. So you can build this on any type of base you'd like to work with. But in this case, we used an 18-inch grapevine wreath. Guess what? Berries. And we picked out a really shiny berry that's going to pop the surface and really look good with those, the body of the ladybug. So let me trim these off. Y'all, I have found I love using different textures in my designs, different, in this case, this is shiny and some things are flat. But when we put a kit together, you notice the ribbon has that little bit of shine. So it's a perfect opportunity to put a shiny berry in. because the combo together, you know, really, really works. So here we go. Now, once again, I've got a couple of longer berries. So I'm going to pull these off, these really long stems. And then everybody else is kind of the same length. So what I can do with these, I'll just trim them down a little. Get my wire cutters back out, trim them down. And now everybody's the same length. And we're going to work kind of in between our poppies and just have a poppy, a berry, a poppy, a berry. So if we do that, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 berries minimum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. We have exactly what we need. And I'm just going to start right here in this section. And we're treating this like a twig, and we want it to be whimsical. But I still kind of want to work it out and around, out and around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one and I'm going to skip one to kind of get started in between, okay? I'm going to do one and skip one. All right, so then I'm going to skip this one, do this one. Just to kind of get a feel for how they're going in and how much I want. Now, if you get one, like that one had a damaged berry, I can take and hit it with a Sharpie, or I can turn it where you don't see it. You can do either way. All right, so I'm going to skip one. I'm going to have one coming out of my bow, which I love that, of course. And make sure you're getting a good amount of glue on here. I love this coming from underneath. And I do want a little bit of angle on it. I still have the shape of my wreath going here. So it's kind of curving. All right, and down here I have 2 poppies really close, so I'm just going to go in between these 2 here. Now, what I want you to do before you put the last berries in is I want to use you to use one of our tricks. And that is I'm going to step back and look at my piece, and I'm going to focus, like kind of squint a little, and I'm going to see where the red dominates and where it looks like I need a little bit more. All right? So that is just a little designer tip. You can try it. So here I go. I'm going to go where you are. I'm exactly where you are, looking at the wreath right now. I'm squinting my eyes. Oh, we did a great job. I think I just want a little here and maybe a little more right here. Here and here. So, my goodness, I'm proud of us because sometimes it's more obvious, but this was really good. So this one I'm going to use right in here, staying with the curvature of the design. Now, if your glue is all covered by your layers, you don't have to put moss in, but if it's not, put it in, and then my other one here. And these berries just really added that finishing pop that I wanted in the design, you know, that pop of red. And it's going to look super on your door if you're making it for yourself. If you're making it to try and give as a gift, I think they're going to love it. They're going to adore this one. Because who can't resist that giant ladybug and this killer bow, poppies, of course, and then the berries. There are the piece de resistance. Boom. You know what really works and why those berries work? Because we have polka dots on here. And when you have another dot that brings in that pattern also to your design, even though it's not a dot, it's a berry, it just visually is super pleasing. So we knocked it out of the park. You guys, you knocked it out of the park. You're going to love this. So grab this kit from us. The link will be below. If you need any help, just ask. We're happy to help you find what you need to take your designing to the next level. It's a great starting point, and then come join us in design school where we can teach you the tips and tricks every day to make pieces that you can't believe you can make yourself. I am so proud of my design school students, and I'm excited you're here. All right, let's go have fun with flowers. Y'all can make this one. Bye, y'all.